This is a video about these trailer curtains that I make. Here's the trailer curtains when they're on the trailers. First thing we do is obviously roll out the fabric. I make some marks. This is going to be the shorts piece. I'm making marks about every 2 feet, and I'm transferring the line in about 20 inches. You can see here in a little bit that I'm going to cut off 20 inches of the edge of this piece. The curtains consist of a kind of a long piece and then a short piece that get welded together to make the 100 inches tall by 28 feet long. And this one here will be the longer piece that I don't need to transfer it in. I don't need to cut the edge off. In a second you can see some webbing with some D-rings sewn into them that I made prior to rolling out the fabric, that we sew these things onto the short piece. There's 11 of them that go on each of the curtains, and I usually will make about 3 of these at a time. They take me about 2 days to make 3 of them. The D-rings with the 2-inch seatbelt webbing get double stitched onto the short piece of fabric about every 24 inches. And you can see my beautiful wife helping me out. She's sticking down the next set. We usually do 5 or 6, and then we flip the curtain over and do the rest of them in the other direction, just to save from rolling all of the curtain underneath the sewing machine at once. This is now the edge of the curtain. We need to put a piece of seatbelt webbing on the top and the bottom of that. So I'm sewing 2 layers of the webbing sandwiched the fabric, and then it's going right over where the D-rings go. So I sew along the bottom edge, and then I pull it back and sew along the top edge to get a double stitch down on them. And then in the next shot, I'll be doing the same to the other edge of the wider piece of fabric. Pieces of fabric get kind of heavy, so she helps me, pull the fabric as it goes through the sewing machine and then rolls it up on the end. My table's about 19 feet long. These curtains end up being 28 feet long, so we got to kind of do it in sections. And then it would just run the second stitch on it. The next thing, I'm cutting holes for the grommets to go on the top of these curtains, and then here I am using my pneumatic press to punch the grommets in there. I have a separate video on that grommet press if you're interested. I'll probably put a link down in the description. Now here we are laying it out to weld the 2 curtains together. It's a hot air welder that we use, and I was marking a 1-inch line because it's a 1-inch seam, and making sure everything gets flat. And we roll up the door. It does get a little smoky, just to get some good ventilation in there. I'm not pushing that machine. It kind of drives itself, and I'm just doing a little bit of steering and just making sure that the speed is correct. It's a cheap kind of Chinese one, so I have to go back over it with the hand in the hand welder, and then check it also on the back side of the curtain. And here we are moving it down to do the second half of the curtain, just because my table's not long enough. And that black strip that you see on the table is a piece of metal so that it doesn't melt my table. And then I just check the back side, and on the edges of the curtains there's a 4-inch piece of webbing that we put on there. It's spaced in about 1 inch, and you'll see a second one going on right here because we create a pocket. So there's a pipe that gets screwed into there on the edges of the trailers it gets rolled to tension the curtain, and then we fold it over and double stitch the pocket closed. And we do this to both sides of the curtain. We roll it up and flip it over, and then do the other side. And usually after that, we just call the customer and they pay for the shipping, and on to the next project. And that's the end of it. Thanks for watching the video. If you think I've earned it, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for future video notifications. Thanks again.